All right. I spent this weekend watching the NFL draft, and I can tell you I'm always excited to watch and see these young men realize their dreams and get the opportunity to play football at the highest level and make a way for their families financially, man. It's a beautiful thing to see. There's always a lot of storylines, in the drafts, as all of these young men have stories and have backgrounds. And one of the main storylines in this draft has been the fall of Shedeur Sanders from potentially a first round draft pick falling all the way to the fifth round. And so over the past 2 days, which were the first, second, and third rounds, with him falling out of those first 2 days picks, there's been a lot of talk about what happened, and is there some kind of conspiracy to humble this young man, or to box out the Sanders family, or is this something that happened? Is there something that happened during the process, the draft process, that basically lowered this man's stock in a significant way like that? It's no way to fully know the full truth, because there's a lot of things that go on behind closed doors when these decisions are made. And so uh, what I want to talk about today is how this story actually is something that most people experience in life. And that is, there's times where we find ourselves in situations that are unexpected. We unexpectedly fall. uh, Things don't work out as planned, and we find ourselves sometimes trying to figure out what happened, what's going on, and trying to understand the situation, right? As most people have been talking about this fall with Shador, and trying to point to all of the different reasonings and storylines as to what is going on to explain it. The reality is, sometimes in life, there are things that happen to us that there's really no good explanation for. And how we respond to those situations is really key, and really is the point in life. Sometimes we're going to end up in these situations like Shador experienced, and how we respond to it is going to be the determining factor, is to the direction of our life going forward. And so, just like for Shador, it's very important for this young man to take this as a challenge that he's going to have to use as motivation going forward. At the end of the day, he's still going to get the opportunity to put an NFL uniform on and prove his worth as a player. And I think that he definitely should use this situation as a catalyst to motivate him to work his butt off like he's never has before, study his butt off like he never has before, and to really make it a point to prove his worth. And it's nothing wrong with that. That's what it's all about. Every rookie is going to have to show up to camp and prove their worthiness. And uh, over the years, we've seen some of the players, that have been low picks. Some have even been undrafted, that ultimately showed up and proved that they were better than some of the players that were picked higher, and proved that they belonged. And so Shador's gonna get that opportunity, and I think it's key that he uses this situation as a motivator. And so when I talk about the parallel and most people experiencing this type of situation, I think it's the same key for us as well. When things happen and it doesn't make sense and we don't understand, and things are not going our way, it's important to keep a positive outlook and keep a mind frame that, I'm going to get through this, and when I do, I'm going to be better, and I'm going to fight hard to prove that I do belong, or that this situation happened to me, but it's not an indictment on who I am. And so this is a very, very good example of life happening. And sometimes it's our fault, that we end up in certain situations, and sometimes it might not be our fault at all. It might just be completely unexplainable what we're going through. But how we respond to it is key. And I personally believe that keeping a positive mind frame and an optimistic mind frame, and then also using the situation as a motivator, as a catalyst to push us to work harder, or to to just just dial in even more, 100%, 110%. This should make Shedeur better, because he's still going to get those opportunities, but now he's got a newfound motivation to prove people wrong, and a newfound uh, just grounding. And sometimes we go through things that are not explainable, because we just need to persevere through it and get a better grounding, right? There's nothing wrong with, being humble from time to time, but that humbling should push you to work harder, to study harder, to be better. And so, I feel like this is a great opportunity to share, a life lesson in this whole situation that we seen this young man go through. And he's not the only one. There's going to be a lot of athletes that have uh, that have fallen in this draft. They might not be as highly publicized or as highly ranked as Shador, but there's going to be people that are not even drafted in this draft. They're going to watch the whole 7 rounds and never hear their name called. And this applies to those young men too. It literally applies to everybody, as far as even in life. This is just an example of something that happens, and how we respond to it shows what type of person that we are, and what type of what level of success we're gonna be able to attain, right? And so I'm rooting for Shedeur Sanders and all of the young men that are overcoming, and all of the people out there that are overcoming challenges and setbacks, and knockouts, being knocked out, or falling. Uh, you know, my encouragement would be, get up. Find a way to encourage yourself, get your mind frame back right, and work harder, push harder, focus harder, train harder, listen harder. Just get better, be better. Let the situation make you better than before the situation. That's what it's all about. The P word, perseverance. It's a key in life, and it's a key to success. And so, let all of us, we need to all see and understand that, what, uh, regardless of whatever the reason was for the fall, how we respond and how Shador responds to it is the real key. All right? Man, y'all stay blessed, man, and keep on pushing.